All right, part two. Apparently, I decided to stop recording there in the middle, and I just didn't feel like recording the first 4 minutes over again. So now you have a bonus video. So the last thing I was talking about with the assignment was citations. You should know by now how to do citations. If not, it's relatively simple. I even posted a well, I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, again, so it's not a requirement for you to actually say, oh, 5 times I need to quote this. But you could say, the speaker says, in paragraph such and such, and then give the quote just to kind of help support what you're saying. Or if you're saying, so and so, exhibits a good example of ethos by saying, maybe you put that in quotes there as well. So in addition to ethos, I wanted to mention this as well, that pathos and logos as well. It doesn't say this specifically on the outline, but this is something that I would encourage you to address as well. So in addition to ethos, in addition to does the speaker or the writer have credibility, are they using logos as well? They're using logic. What types of facts and statistics, if any, are being used? Excuse me. So I would encourage you to address that as well. Pathos, are they using emotion much or at all in this? Depending on which text you choose, some have more than others. And it's not a requirement that I have to talk about logos this many times and pathos this many times. If the author or the writer doesn't use it, that's fine. Just say, the author demonstrates a lot of credibility with the ethos, a lot of logos, facts, and stats, not a lot of emotion. That's fine. Just make sure you address that. So what I was alluding to earlier with the citations, if you go onto Canvas, I may have already said Blackboard earlier. I'm so used to using Blackboard. So if I say Blackboard, I mean Canvas. In fact, on the syllabus at the bottom, it even says text options can be found on Blackboard. Obviously, that's not correct. It's on Canvas. So if you are on Canvas and you go into the week 3 assignment page for the week 3 module for the text and action rough draft there, that's where you will submit this, on Sunday or but by Sunday. I have the options here as well, so you can download the 5 text options. I also, because I'm trying to be nice on this first assignment, I have the how you should cite this on your works cited page as well. So let's run through the options here real fast. If you've looked at them already, you'll notice that I tried to give a variety of choices, and also there's one of them's a video as well. So the first one is probably before most, if not all of you were born, is George W. Bush's nomination acceptance speech at the RNC, and it would have been 2000, so 20 years ago. So there's his speech there. It's a link from the New York Times. A little more contemporary is Obama's it's called the night before the election speech that he gave in Virginia in Manassas. One of his most well-known, very powerful speeches. So Bush's was given when he was nominated at the beginning of the campaign, and Obama's was literally the night before the election that he went on to win. So I'm trying to fire up the voters there. So that's a powerful one as well. The next one is obviously a little bit older. Winston Churchill's "We Will Fight on the Beaches." This is from World War II, trying to encourage a nation and even a world that was, very concerned at the time. They weren't sure how this war was going to end up, what was going to happen. So that's a powerful speech there as well. So you can analyze that if you're a history fan, or just if you like Churchill, or just if you find it interesting. Martin Luther King's letter from a Birmingham jail. Again, he's most well known probably for his "I Have a Dream" speech, but this is very likely his second most well known. Well, "I Have a Dream" is a speech. This is actually literally a letter. So that the text there. It's a little bit longer, but it's definitely a very powerful, very good read. So again, make sure, I would recommend looking through all these, just kind of glossing through all of them. Don't just say, "Oh, I like Obama, I'll do this one." I mean, that's fine, but I mean, make sure that you give yourself an option to look through all of them to see, maybe one is, easier for you to analyze, or maybe there's certain aspects that you'd like to analyze. And then the last one is the Sarah McLachlan SPCA commercial, the one you probably have seen. This is it's a YouTube video, but it's I'm trying to mix it up. If you want to do a video, now don't just pick the video because you think, oh, it's a video. I'd sit there and I don't have to read anything. It's easier. The video, I've had a lot of students do it, and no one's done poorly with it, but they have sometimes said that since it's only like a 2.5 minute video, they feel like they sometimes run out of things to analyze for a 4 to 5 page paper. So, watch the video and maybe take some notes and make sure that you feel comfortable analyzing this for the length of this assignment. And then again, also under that tab on Canvas, so those are the options, and then below that I have the citations. Now, even though you're only going to have one source for this, you still have to create a works cited page. It'll look a little strange with just one citation there, but it's good practice for the research paper when you have more. So I have all of them, all five. I don't know why I put them in a different order than I listed on the other page, but you got Bush, Sarah McLachlan, Churchill, Obama, and King, and you can literally copy and paste whatever one you choose. If you choose the Churchill one, just copy and paste that citation, put it on your works cited page at the end, and you're good to go. Now, I mentioned earlier, kind of at the end of the first video and the beginning of this one, excuse me, if you are going to use a direct quote, or if you're going to paraphrase from the video, from the text, you need to use an in-text citation as well. So let's say you're doing Letter from a Birmingham Jail, and you want to put a quote in there. So one of his well-known quotes from that is it injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere? And that's a quote that a lot of people are familiar with, and it's a very good quote. And I'm not going to dissect it and analyze it for the purpose of this video. But if you wanted to put that quote in there and say, this is a very good example of pathos and emotion, make sure you cite that. So all you'd have to do is just put King in parentheses after that, after the quote. With MLA format, you would put the author's last name and the page number, but I believe for most, if not all of these, there are no page numbers because it's a website. So don't just keep putting one. Don't just put King 1, because it's on one web page. Don't do that. If you want, you could just do like PAR for paragraph and the paragraph number. But some of them, like the Bush speech, if I recall, there's like maybe 100 paragraphs because it's like 2 lines is one paragraph and it moves on. So don't feel like you have to do that, but make sure you at least put the author's last name. The strange one is the SPCA commercial. It's uploaded to YouTube, and it's Sarah McLachlan is the speaker on it. But the actual proper way to cite for MLA format for a video is to give the citation for the person or the username who uploaded it. In this case, it happens to be something called Hollatronics. It's HOLLATRONIX. And if you pull up the sample works cited page, it's on there as well. So if you quote something from that video, don't put YouTube in parentheses. Don't put McLachlan or SPCA in parentheses. Just put Hollatronics. I know that sounds weird, but that's the proper way to do that. So make sure you're citing these all throughout your essay. And again, on the first draft, if you're not doing it 100% correctly, I'll let you know. I'm not going to just let you wander astray here. And speaking of regarding grading first drafts, you'll notice on Canvas that the first draft of your major assignments are all worth 10 points. I used to grade first drafts, and then I didn't. And basically I look at writing as a process, and I don't want you to worry too much about the quality of a first draft and that affect how it turns out. I want you to get all your thoughts and ideas and everything put down on paper, and then you can worry about fine tuning it later. So I don't really believe in grading the quality of a first draft, but I do want you to have something to work for. So the first draft is only worth 10 points. I think the final is worth 30 for this one, and the research paper is worth more. But in order just to get all 10 points, you just have to do 2 things. Well, basically 3. The first one, just do it, obviously. And then make sure you turn it on time. Most of you have been pretty good meeting the deadlines here so far. So just as long as you do the first draft, and you turn it in on time, and I'm going to say, give me at least 2 pages for the first draft. Just enough for me to look at and give you a feedback so you can work on the final draft. Don't just give me a couple paragraphs or a page. The more the better. If you give me the full essay, that's great. But don't stress over that. Again, I'm not grading the first draft on the quality. If you're really off, if you're not on point, I can direct you in the right direction. But I'll still give you the full 10 points as long as it's on time and you've given me at least 2 pages for the first draft. You'll notice on the assignment sheet on your syllabus it says 4 to 5 pages. That's I think the official page count for the UC student guide. I'll be willing for this first one to let you go a little bit shorter. If it's a little bit shy of 4 pages, let's say at least 3.5 pages for this essay. But it needs to be a good 3.5 pages. I understand that sometimes it is hard. You kind of feel like you're repeating yourself, doubling back, so on and so forth. But the final draft, make sure it's at least 3.5 pages. 4 to 5 would be ideal. Try not to go over 6 because after that point you're just kind of like droning on and kind of like kind of missing, kind of building too much. I don't know where I'm going. This video is getting longer than I intended to. But it's a minimum of 3 pages. I would say no more than 6 for the final. So that's basically all I have for you. I will be online tomorrow from 1 to 2 on that WebEx link that you have on your syllabus. If you want to pop by, I would prefer you just send me a quick email just so I can know to turn it on. Sometimes I have it on the whole time. Sometimes I just have my email open and I'm waiting to see if anybody comes in. That way I'm not just staring there at a camera for an hour just waiting to see if anyone comes in. But anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to stop by my office time, shoot me an email. And again, this is due by Sunday, the 13th, before midnight. Don't stress about this. It's your first one. Like I said, as long as you do it on time, give me 2 pages. There's really no reason for you not to get all 10 points on this. And then I'll look it over. I'll give you feedback. It says on here the final draft is due on the 27th. That is my goal. I will not move that date up. It just depends on how long it takes me to get. I have 2 sections of this course. I have over 40 students doing the same assignment. So it takes me a little longer than I hope to get the feedback returned to you. I'll push that final date back. But as of now, it is still going to be 2 weeks from then, the 27th. So I'll leave you with that. Please shoot me an email if you have any questions. Stop on my office time. And again, if this office time doesn't ever work for you, if you're not available on Mondays and Wednesdays, just say, hey, could you meet me at this day at this time? I mean, the worst I can say is no, and then I'll try to come up with a time that works well for all of us. All right, sorry, this is about like 15 minutes combined on these 2 videos. I will stop talking now. You can get to work, and have a good day. Thanks. Bye.